How to avoid going broke over the holidays. This is a real touchy subject because everybody know they're going to break the bank spending money on presents and stuff like that. But anyway, stay tuned for our special guest, Jacinta DeVoe. She's a financial advisor and vice president of Prime America, and she'll be with us to give us some tips on how not to spend too much money over the holidays. So if you didn't know, my name is Terrence Flowers. I'm a videographer, photographer, and filmmaker. And I got this documentary that I did called The Other Race. It's almost got 1 million views. 1 million views straight from Columbus, Georgia. So I am real proud of that. I have another documentary coming out called Pretty for a Dark-Skinned Girl. And I got one called City of Silence, which is about the city of Columbus. So we're doing it real big over here at Modest Stills and Post Media. So both of those are slated for release next year. And I show love on this podcast. So I need y'all to show me some love. So if you can hear me and I'm coming in real clear, hit that love button. Hit that heart. Show me some love. That's me waiting on you. I'm just kidding. Anyway, shout out to our sponsors, Tax Now. And as you know, this Donald Trump, he didn't put these laws out there, so the banks are dropping these bans on these tax offers this year. The anticipation refund loan is up to $6,000. 6 bans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So make sure you come holler at Tax Now. Ask for David Daniels. Tell him, T-Flow, Old Black Blue, tell him I sent you. He gonna look out for you. Anyway, this episode is also sponsored by Annette Dixon. She's a baker, ex-teacher. She used to be a teacher, but now she bakes food, pies and cakes, and I can co-sign this. This I can tell you. You won't find no better cakes or pies in Columbus, Georgia. And these ain't no, I'm finna say something off of Life with Eddie Murphy, but I ain't gonna go there. But these some everybody pies, and they are delicious. So make sure, and we also got some samples. So at the end of the show, we'll be sampling some of the samples that she brought us here. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, this month right here is also No Shave November. So what you're supposed to do, the money that you're supposed to spend on grooming yourself, you're supposed to donate that money to a cause. Now, I'm doing half of it. I'm growing it out. I ain't donated nothing yet, but I'm telling you to donate. So all my guys out there, if you listening, if you watching, and you got your beard and you participating in No Shave November, post a pic in the comments. I want to see what you're looking like. Y'all already see what I'm looking like, all scruffy and stuff. I can't wait till December 1st because all this is coming off. I'm getting my goatee back and I'll be looking like me again. So anyway, here we go. Kim Porter, Columbus native. Our thoughts and prayers are going to the family. November 15th, she was found non-responsive in her L.A. home, and she died of a heart attack. She's a longtime girlfriend of Sean Puffy Combs, a.k.a. P. Diddy. Y'all know Diddy. She left 4 kids. Christian, Delilah Starr, Jesse James, and Quincy. She was a successful model and an actress. She was born in Seatown back in 1971, back in the day. She went to Columbus High School. Then she went to Atlanta to pursue a career in modeling and acting. She has been on the cover of Essence and Jet, and she's going to be missed by the community. A lot of people in Columbus knew her. She was loved. We see her kids grow up, especially since social media came out. So, I mean, it's going to be a real sad occasion, but, you know, she going home. So, we already know P. Diddy gonna set it out, and Columbus going to be live. I mean, just turned up this weekend because when people die, you know, it's a sad occasion, but we really want to celebrate. So, Columbus is a party town. We will not do nothing else in Columbus, Georgia. We know how to party. So, our thoughts and prayers go to the Porter family. Everybody at Royal Cafe, our thoughts and prayers are with you. So, our next story, and we're gonna get to these stories real quick because I'm gonna show y'all how to save some money. Because if y'all like me, I don't be having no money when it comes to the end of the year. I be broke, and I be like, dang, you know, you try to set it up, and you know every year, you know the end of the year is coming. You know you gotta buy present for them children. You know you got to buy this and buy that, but it get me every year. So hopefully Jacinta can help me out. Not only help me out, but help you guys out too. So anyway, another sad story. A Columbus police officer was killed in a helicopter crash. Retired police officer David Hill, along with the unidentified passenger, was killed Friday when a Metro Narcotics Task Force helicopter hit a power line and plunged into the Coosa River in Alabama. Officer Hall, ironically, was involved in the crash 2 years ago, almost to the date, in Columbus, Georgia. He was piloting a single-engine Piper airplane November 23rd, 2016, and it crashed on Howard Avenue. Hall and the rookie pilot accompanying him on this trip were only slightly injured, but our thoughts and prayers go his family as well. So, I mean, he was an ex-Metro narcotic officer, and I think he was taking the helicopter to get some maintenance, and they say he hit a power line that wasn't marked. I guess the pilots have stuff that's marked, and he hit a power line, and he plunged in the river, and there was no chance for survival. So our thoughts and prayers are with his family too. Stacey Abrams conceded the governorship. Well, she sort of did. Mrs. Abrams stated, "I will not concede because the erosion of our democracy is not right. Georgia citizens tried to exercise their constitutional rights and were still denied the ability to elect their leaders. Under the watch of the former Secretary of State, failed Georgians of every political party, every race, and every region. Because so many voters, especially minorities, were disenfranchised by Kemp's actions since he presided over the Secretary of State in his own election for the governorship. Abrams announced that the campaign will be filing a major federal lawsuit against the state of Georgia for the gross mismanagement of the election and to protect future elections from unconstitutional action. But she also added that she would pray for the success of Brian Kemp and that indeed he would be a leader for all Georgians. So what I got to ask you people out there is, what do you think happened with this whole governor race in Georgia? Do you think it was fraudulent? Do you think Ms. Abrams was a sore loser? Leave your answers in the comments. Let me tell you what I think. I think you need to, sometimes in life you need to bow out gracefully. And I'm not going to call her a sore loser. I was, me and Post Media and Marty Stills, we was at the Democratic headquarters when she came there, and she seemed like she was a delightful young lady. She was real cool. She was down to earth. But I think she was talking to her base when she made that, we're going to call it a concession when she conceded speech. But to me, you can't do that. She would have been served better to reach across the aisle to say, you know what, I don't agree with how things went down, but you know what, it is what it is. Congratulations to Kemp. All this other extra stuff kind of making it look like she's a sore loser to me. But, you know, that's just my opinion. So let me know what you think. I mean, of course, something went down. Now, I ain't being naive about that. But the thing is, she even when they recount the votes, I think she was still down by 50,000 votes. And I don't think she would have gave up if she would have thought it was a chance that she could have won. So y'all let me know what y'all think. And to the next story. Massachusetts has started recreational marijuana sales. How many of y'all wish y'all lived in Massachusetts right now? I bet a whole bunch of y'all. Anyway, customers waited in long lines for hours in the cold and rain on a New England day for to be some of the first people to legally buy recreational marijuana on the East Coast. For more than 2 years after Massachusetts voters approved legalizing marijuana for adults, the state's 2 fully licensed pot shops opened Tuesday in Lancaster and Northampton, selling strains of the part of the plant that can be smoked in pre-rolled joints and edibles such as brownies and bars. Marijuana is legally sold in 6 western states, but the long-awaited opening of recreational outlets in the East was hailed as a major milestone for the cannabis industry in the United States, with Massachusetts viewed as a potential buyer in a $1.5 billion a year market. My thoughts on this is, when you see people getting arrested or using marijuana, it's also people. It's, a lot of times it's people of color. They're getting demonized. But once it's legal, undercover white smokers just come out of the woodwork. I mean, I watched some of the news coverage of this event, and I did not see a black face in any of it. And you know, when I be watching the news and watching stuff like that, I be like this. I be looking for a black face from stuff like that. I be like, what are black folks? What are black people? And I'm not trying to be racial about it, but I know how these things work. You know, I know whites and blacks smoke equally, but when it comes to being legal, a lot of times all you see is the white face, and I'm like, you know, what's up with that? Even out west, you know what I'm saying? It's like when it's legal, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? But as long as some states think it's illegal, that's when they want to put the people of color faces out there. So, what do you think? Do you think that, you know, since it's split, it's some states that are legal and a lot of states in the South is not, do you think marijuana should just be legal all over the United States? I mean, come on. Everybody smokes. I don't, but everybody else smokes. I mean, we all know somebody who blazing the weed, who smoking blunts, who hitting the vape, who doing whatever. We all know people like this. I mean, so it's flooding up our criminal justice system. I mean, I think they should just make it legal for everybody, tax it, use that money to help kids in schools and grants to go to college. I mean, it gets the states that have legalized it, they're winning. They're winning. But see, the states who haven't legalized it, what they're doing is they're taxing the users. So if you get caught with a blunt, let's say you get caught with like a dub or something like that, you might pay over $2,000 in legal fees and stuff like that, going to jail for a $20 sack. And you already ain't got no money for real. But if it was legal, that $20 would go back into the system to help education, to help fund a whole lot of programs. So that's just my spill on it. I'm about to get to the top story. We all been there spending our last dime, even money we don't got around Christmas time, just to make this time enjoyable for our kids, our family, and friends. But the rest of the year, we are trying to climb out this hole that we dug for ourselves. So right now, I'm going to introduce my guest, Vice President of Prime America in Columbus, Georgia, Miss Jacinta DeVos. That's a drum roll.
That's a drum roll. Okay.
And how are you doing, Jacinta?
I am doing great. Thank you.
It's good to have you. It's good to have you. Good to have you. So, I am one of those Americans that around this time of the year, I mean, I try real hard to provide for my family and provide for my kids. Mm-hmm. But January, I'm hurting. Right. The tank is empty. I have no money. I mean, like no money. Overdraft, all the above. So we're gonna go into some of these stats of how to. First we're going to some of these stats of how much some of the Americans spend, and then we're gonna go into some of the reasons why they spend. And then I want you to help us figure out how to avoid some of these problems. So. Sure. That they say that average American spends nearly $1,000 on Christmas gifts over the holiday season. I don't know. None of the Americans in my circle spend that type of money, but we spend what we got, but we don't spend that much. So what do you think, what's the mindset of people spending so much money over a short period of time for just one holiday, one day?
I think there's a lot of different reasons people do this, and part of it, you got to think that $1,000 is probably including things like the workplace party, food, food for cooking, travel, things like that as well. So it's not always just gifts, but what it is people tend to emotionally shop and emotionally spend. And Christmas is one of those holidays I think that we get the warm fuzzies the most, right? So you'll see people coming out of pocket a lot more just for the feel of it all.
Okay, well, I'm going to go into some of the reasons that they say people go into debt, and I want you to comment on them. One is overspending and money management. So what do you think about that?
Christmas is just really indication of a pattern all year long, honestly. So, when they overspend during Christmas, a lot of times they've already been overspending throughout the month. The most important thing is for somebody to come to a point where they're ready to stop going over the same cycle, the same cycle, and change just a few habits. If there's just a couple habits in there we can change, then, you can actually make a difference and not come out at the bottom of the poll at the end of the year.
Do you think when it comes to overspending, some people try to keep up with the Joneses? Like,
absolutely,
they buying their kids this or they doing that, and I want my baby. You know what I'm saying? Think people have that mindset too?
Absolutely. When it comes to our finances, this is the one area we've never really been taught to have a vision for. A lot of people, they go to school because of the vision they have for their life. They are working a certain job or in a certain career because of the vision they have for their life. They have a certain family because of the vision they have for their life. But when it comes to money, a lot of times there's no vision.
There's no vision.
Right. So it's easy to get off track when you don't have, when you can only see what's in front of you.
Okay. The second one was lack of communication with a spouse or a family member. So how do you think that one right there work?
I believe that finances, again, are one of those things husband and wives don't generally discuss. And I have walked into a lot of households where they don't know even how much credit card
the man
debt.
ain't spending no money for real. It be no women. Y'all women who spending that money. That man ain't spending no money.
Let me tell you something. I know men that can shop. Okay, what? I know plenty of men that can shop, and so it's.
So the man spending, he going there, he sneaking off spending money.
He might spend money on different things than the woman does,
but he's still spending money.
He's spending
so the woman's spending money, and they're not talking about it. It's just like, okay, I think such and such dollars is in the account. She's taking such and such dollars in the account. So
right.
both of them are spending money.
Right.
But they're not talking about it.
Right. And one thing I would definitely suggest during this time is have a separate account for whatever you're going to spend for Christmas. So that way it's because it is very easy if they have a joint account. Oh my goodness, if they're not communicating, that's just a disaster waiting to happen.
Oh my God.
But have a separate account for what you plan to do for for Christmas, and that will help you stay a little bit more accountable.
So basically what you're saying, just throughout the year, just be dumping money into a different account.
Here's some easy ways. Think about it this way. We're here. You talked about your friend that has the tax business, right?
Uh-huh.
That's one time that you can actually plan way ahead for Christmas. If the average tax return someone's getting, I'm saying even on a low level, is $4,000, right?
Mm-hmm,
tax return. What if you just took $1,000 at that point and set it aside in a separate account for Christmas?
Yeah.
You could also talk to your tax professional about how do you not get so much of a return, because honestly, that's just money that could be in your checking account every month. If you're getting $4,000 back, you're missing about $300 a month in your check. So there's ways to get that back in your household every month, and then just take $100 and start saving it.
Okay. Reason number 3 was unexpected emergencies and personal health. How do you think that falls into the play of things? I guess what they're saying is something might come up unexpectedly at the wrong time,
right.
And you have to spend that money, and maybe you've already spent that $1,000 or close to that $1,000 for Christmas.
Right.
How prevalent do you see that?
Well, because most people don't really have an emergency funded very well, that's why those things take them off track. So, in order to avoid that, you want to make sure you start having some type of emergency fund, because emergencies can happen anytime. The problem is when they happen during Christmas, we've also decided we want to spend X amount of dollars, so emergency just can't fit in at the moment.
Okay, and just for the viewers, what do you think is a good nest egg for emergency fund to have? Like, what's a good number to try to save up to have for your emergency fund?
Your emergency fund should have anywhere from 3 to 6 months' salary in it.
3 to 6 months salary.
Yeah.
My emergency.
Start somewhere.
I don't have nothing.
I know. It's time. You just start somewhere. You can start saving.
Something always comes up. I swear something always comes up.
Again, it's about the long term. The idea is this. Do you want to, what legacy do you want to leave? What do you want to teach your kids? Do you want them to go down the same cycle that we go down. As parents, we always want them to do better. So we have to start painting a different picture of what's important and what's not.
You're right about that. And this one right here, it's not surprising. Too much credit card usage. I thought that probably should have been number one.
Right.
How do you think that plays out for most Americans?
Most Americans have anywhere from $15,000-$16,000 just in credit card debt alone, and that is what's happened. Is over the past few years we've gotten to the point where we actually spend more money than we make as Americans. So on average, we're spending 2, 3, 4% more than what we actually make. It's going to catch up sometime. But here's what happens. Credit card debt is really out of the fact that most people aren't making enough. So if they're not making what they need to be making, they then finance the rest. Well, that is going to end up biting everybody in the butt after a while. So So what are the credit card companies doing? If they know people aren't making that money, why are they even giving them cards then? Honestly, when they know how money works. If you've ever heard of a principle, and this is for another show, it's called the Rule of 72. Okay,
tell us, talk to the people. They might need to hear the Rule of 72.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
What the Rule of 72 tells us is how interest rates affect our money. So this is why the credit card companies can loan you money, even though they're taking a chance that you may not pay it all back. It's because they understand how much a dollar is worth. So a Rule of 72 tells you that whatever interest rate you're earning, if you divide that into number 72, tells you how many years it takes money to double. So that means if I put my money at 1% in the bank, right, 1 goes into 72 times. Mm-hmm. So if I gave the bank $1,000, it takes 72 years for me to have $2,000.
God.
That's way too long.
That's way too long.
Let me ask you this. If 12%, so let's say a credit card is charging you 12%. Mm-hmm. Well, 12 goes into 72 6 times, mm-hmm. right? So that same $1,000, if I was earning 12% in 6 years, I'd have $2,000, right?
Exactly.
Well, another 6 years, I'm going to have 4. Another 6 years, I'm going to have 8. What the credit card companies do, now, when was the last time there was a 12% rate on a credit card?
Long
time ago, right? We're now at like 19, 20, 29%. So when you take that number and divide it into 72, that's how much interest, that's how you can figure out how much interest they're earning off of your money.
So they're getting that every payment.
They're getting that all the time. So they're earning a lot more. They're putting your money to use, making money on it when we need to be making money from our money.
Okay, so what's your opinion on credit cards in general?
Don't do it. Don't do it. No.
So just use debit cards or cash?
Use debit cards. The bottom line is if you have money to pay for it, then that's when you can afford it. If you cannot pay for it, you can't afford it. Don't buy things you can't afford. Bottom line is, and debt has never been a path to financial freedom.
Never.
You can never take that road and get there. So it's really a question of what do you want most.
Yeah, and they're giving credit card. Cause they send me something, I just throw them away. I don't even want to be enticed because I just throw them away because I already know what I'm going to do. Right. I'm going to default on mine. Right.
It's a trap.
And that's going to hurt me in the end. Yes, right. It's going to hurt me in the end. So I already know what I'm going to do. So I just get rid of them. So.
Right. Put your money to work for you rather than letting it work for somebody else. That's really bottom line.
Mm-hmm. And the next one, divorce or separation.
Yeah, that's it. Really, there's an emotional tie to spending again when it comes to divorce and separation. I think a lot of times if it's happening around this time or if it's happened recently, parents are trying to make up for what they feel like is a gap. Mm-hmm. So with their kids, they may tend to spend more. They might tend to go overboard and try to make sure they look like the best parent, There's competition going on.
I think the man probably get jerked on that one right there because he's probably paying out. Once again, he probably paying out, and then he's giving her money. And he's trying to make Christmas happen. She hounding him. So I mean, when that situation right there happens, if whatever the money their budget is, if they're not talking about their finances, they're gonna be in debt. So.
Right.
I guess this last one kind of segs off of that. It's appeasing children. How you think that affects people over the holiday season, just appeasing their children?
Oh, that's probably one of the number one reasons. The thing is this: we give because we love. You can't love somebody and not give to them. And so it's very natural to want to give. But again, we got to retrain our brain to think about what is the most important thing that I can give them. Can I give them, I think about this. When I had my kids, my youngest, every baby I know plays with the boxes more than they play with the toys.
What?
What I'm saying?
My kids
Right?
were little, all them electronic stuff I bought, they right here playing with boards and stuff like that and boxes.
Exactly. We train them to care about the name brand. We train them to care about having the best this and that. We train them on that. So what if we started talking to them about instead having $1 million net worth? $100,000 net worth even.
And some of y'all badass kids don't even deserve our Christmas gifts. I'm just being really out there raising hell, being bad to the teachers, talking back, and here you go spending $1,000 on them for Christmas, according to some of these reports we got. So, those are the top reasons for people going to debt. What would you like to add to that?
I think, the most important thing when it comes to the holiday is plan early. Like we said, there's a few things you can do tax-wise that'll help you throughout the year next year to be in a different situation. Go ahead and either use cash or separate your account so that you don't overspend, so you don't end up with the overdrafts, we talked about earlier. Put it even on a prepaid card if you have to, so that way you don't do the, get the overdraft hits, because we don't want to be paying for that later. The main thing is, what you want should be more important than what the advertisers want. I always tell people is if you would watch less commercials and reality shows, you'll want less stuff. Okay.
Okay, so just going back to something you said, you said the nest egg should basically be 3 to 6 months of salary.
Right.
What's a good amount to take out from your salary? Let's say somebody's making $10 an hour, 40 hours a week, so that'll put them at $400 plus taxes, FICA and all that, whatever FICA is and all that stuff.
Right.
What should that person who making $10 an hour for a regular work week, what should they take out to put in their savings?
$1 an hour. So, you should really look to at least start saving 10%. 10% of your income. So, in a week, that might be $40. That's not a whole lot of money when you look at the scheme of things. It's a couple trips to Mickey D's. It's a couple times out to eat less, but it means so much. If someone would put away, let's say $100 a month, if that's what they did, think about it this way. Let's even go further. How many people that can blow $50 in a week and don't have anything to show for it?
Everybody I know can blow that.
Exactly. Do you know that if somebody took that $50 a week and just invested it for their working life, let's say they were from age 30 to 65, they'd have $1.3 million.
Hold on. You got to talk to that camera. Say that part again. Oh, I want to talk to the Facebook Live people. Say that part again. $1.5 million.
$1.3 million. If you were to take $50 a week and invest it over your working life. So, I'm just saying from age 30 to age 65, say when we get our first real job, right? 30 to 65, you'd have about $1.3 million. That's $50 a week. So, and
that's not with investing with nothing else. That's just saving.
That's investing. No, that's investing. So it'd be different than putting it under the mattress.
Okay.
It'd be
That's what I was thinking. Just putting it up under the mattress. Okay, so it's investing.
It's investing. Okay. But that right there changes the ball game. Imagine if your parents had left you $1.3 million.
Ooh.
How different would life be?
I probably would have blew it. I'm just playing. I wouldn't have blew it. Yeah. Not all of it.
Right, but I'm just what it is just setting our sights a little bit higher, a little bit further down the field, and then this one day that's over with in less than 30 minutes when the kids rip open the presents is not worth us risking the generational wealth that we could be creating.
And just from your professional opinion, how long does it take people to get out of debt that they dig themselves into for this one day?
Just if you're talking about a 1 year worth of debt, probably 5 to 6 years.
Wow. So we always did. We never climb out the hole.
You never climb out of it. You have to make a decision to want to. And it's not hard. It actually is not hard. And I show people how to do that every day. It's so much easier than most people think.
See, I got an easier way than what she talking about. Turn the Scrooge McDuck. And don't pay. Don't get nobody nothing. Just keep all your money to yourself. Be a crab. And then you got to worry about no badass children or your relatives who you don't talk to them until the holidays. But other than that, if you can't do that, make sure that you listen to Miss Jacinta DeVos, because she's going to give you the tight tips on your financial ease. So please tell the people if they need your financial services or they need to know more about the seven what theory?
The rule of 72.
The rule of 72. If you need to know more about that, tell them how to get in touch with you.
Sure. You are welcome to call me at 706-615-3979. You can also send me an email at pfsmit@gmail.com. And, of course, I am on Facebook, Jacinta Ingersoll DeVos.
You're going to help people save some money.
Absolutely, and it's free to learn.
It's free to learn.
It's free to learn.
Well, just for my viewers right there, and that camera right there, just give them one tip. So it's Black Friday is 2 days from now. Give them a Black Friday tip to my viewers. What can they do to save some money? Because you know they're gonna spend them bands.
Go online and shop rather than going in the stores. You make a lot of last-minute purchases in the stores. You make a lot of emotional purchases in the stores. Get your list together of what you really plan to spend money on. Get it online and save your in-store shopping for the little stocking stuffers and things like that if you feel like you absolutely must go.
Okay, so I guess by going online, you won't have that impulse type of shopping, seeing stuff. I'm just going to get that right there.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming through.
My pleasure.
It ain't over with, though, because Miss Annette Dixon, the baker, has brought us some surprises, some sweet potato pie, some buttermilk pie, some pound cake, and she's a former teacher, and she started baking, and make sure if you need any kind of cakes or pie that you holler at Miss Annette, because I can co-sign this. Now, one of my favorite places to eat, and I'm sure you from Phoenix City,
yes.
So you're familiar with Ed's, right?
Yes.
I love me some Ed's red velvet cake. But when I tasted Miss Annette's red velvet cake, I was like, whoo. I try to be pretty fit and stay healthy, but that cake had me making bad decisions. I mean,
that's a good cake.
That cake had me making bad decisions. I'm sitting, it was on my table, and I'm like, every time I walk by, I'm like, man, I gotta get rid of this cake. So I gave some of it away. I froze some of it, but it was so good. Every time I walked past, I was just cutting out. I was trying to trick myself. I'm just gonna cut off a little piece, and it got bigger. So I was like, I just gotta get rid of it. So she actually bought us some samples. So I want you to taste it.
I'm excited about that.
And like I said to all my viewers out there, if for all your bakery needs, we might miss you for Thanksgiving, but Christmas is coming up, and people we just eat and we be joyous all through the holiday season. So make sure you hit her up on Facebook if you need any kind of cake or pie. She has you. Like I said, her specialty is butter pound cake and red velvet. I've actually tasted the red velvet, and I mean, I love it so much. It's like one of those things that's bad for you. Like you love it so much, but it's been bad for you. You just gotta stay away from it because I can't be putting no calories on. I'm trying to get nice and fit. I got a fitness company, 4.0 Fitness, and make sure that you follow my fitness page at 4.0 Fit because I know y'all gonna be putting them pounds on over the holidays and the beginning of the year. Y'all gonna want to lose weight, so make sure you follow that page, and I'm gonna help you do that. So we got we finna taste test some of this pie for Miss Annette. I hope you're watching, Miss Annette. Hey.
Thank you.
Okay, so right here we have some of the Miss Annette. I hope I don't get this wrong. I think this the buttermilk pie and sweet potato pie. So
all right,
I'm gonna let Jacinta taste hers first.
That's some pretty good pie right there.
She put her foot in this.
Wow, that's.
And she has some cake, but I believe my producer ate that.
Hold up.
He ate that, y'all. But she has some pound cake that she gave us, and like I said, she's an awesome person. She is so sweet, one of the nicest ladies you'll meet. So make sure if you need any bakery needs over the holiday season, her name is spelled ANNETTE Dixon, Dixon. You can inbox her on Facebook for all your bakery needs. So, I mean, with that being said, we're going to eat our pie. We don't want to eat on camera and be too, blackish. So, we're going to be out. Thank you for tuning in to the Modest Stills podcast. I am T-Flow. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Modest Stills. And make sure you follow me on Twitter at, I ain't going to give you my Twitter because I get a little reckless on Twitter. But make sure you follow my Fit page at 4.0 Fit on Facebook. Make sure you follow our other Modest Stills podcast page on Facebook. What is that, Khalees?
Modest Stills podcast page.
Okay, yeah, Modest Stills podcast. And in the future, we'll be doing all our broadcasts from there. So I want all my followers to go follow that page right there. Keep up what we got going on. And thank you for your support. We are out. Peace.